For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now in the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right.
Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, your mother's favorite podcaster, aka the Microphone Messiah, your current reigning and defending Bulletcast podcast champion. I am joined by a former Bulletcast podcast champion, the Canadian destroyer, BT Brandon Tanguma. Brandon, how you doing today, brother?
Phillip, doing just fine here Thursday afternoon. Ready to talk some wrestling.
Yes. So SmackDown, the fallout of the kickoff that happened in Las Vegas, WrestleMania kickoff. Triple H comes out there. He's out there with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, and he says, there needs to be, or he needs to let people know, the authority around here, and he doesn't care what table you sit out. You need to know your role, basically, and shut your mouth. What were your thoughts on Hunter's promo?
It was a solid promo. I know there's a lot of people maybe fantasy booking that we could get that Triple H Rock match that we didn't get at WrestleMania 30.
Hey.
But I don't think it's going to happen. The man, he's got some heart issues. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to risk that. But he's kind of like, I see him like as an elevated Adam Pearce at this point. So I think people should probably just settle down. I don't think Triple H is going to wrestle in this feud.
Maybe he'll pick somebody to wrestle for him.
Well, he does have his ties to Seth Rollins, and we'll talk about Raw in a little bit. But
he could channel something with the evolution of this business. Maybe he looks back at his evolution days. Oh, you never know.
Ric Flair versus The Rock,
Batista.
Oh,
anyway,
makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, Triple H. Notice how we came out there to the King of Kings song. This is mine. And then they announced the tournament the qualifying matches for those that can get to the Elimination Chamber. What are the Elimination Chamber next week? Faces Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. So 12 superstars were announced. Qualifying matches started. Drew McIntyre defeat AJ Styles with a little help from LA Knight. Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, solid match. Nothing to write too much home about, and I think McIntyre winning makes a bunch of sense, especially with presumably, well, I think he is by far the favorite to win this whole thing.
Yes. Also, another qualifying match. The underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn, succumbed to the three most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment, RKO, as Randy Orton is advanced to the Elimination Chamber.
Another solid match. Get Orton in there, another big name, and could say that this means more to Sami Zayn losing than Orton winning, because they're telling the story of him, trying to almost find himself, because he was on top of the world last year, and now he's on the road to WrestleMania, and he doesn't really know where his path is.
They like to do this with people a lot, huh? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they did that with Seth Rollins 2 years ago when they faced Cody. He basically just complained that he didn't have a match, and then he finally got a match.
Well, speaking of that, today is the 2-year anniversary of Cody Rhodes leaving AEW.
There you go. And who would have thought?
Yeah,
today.
When we get to outside of the ring, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more. And then Dakota Kai saves Bayley from or whatever EO in the Kabuki Warriors name is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the Dakota Kai, she wasn't there last week, so we kind of wondered, where she fit in all this, and now, setting up Dakota and Bayley kind of being together against the three Joshis. Maybe they get another person in the mix to have a tag match down the line or on a SmackDown. So I like Dakota being with Bayley. I think they're a good babyface team. Hopefully they don't, break them up too far down the line like in NXT with Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, but I like it.
Yes. Can't wait to see what happens there. So, like I said, 2 years ago today, Cody Rhodes left AEW. Of course, Tony Khan put out a statement, and Cody put out a statement as well. And look at where we are. 2 years later, he is Got a main event WrestleMania again for the second consecutive year in a row, to possibly finish the story, as it's all been called. And a lot of guys want to finish stories. Apparently, Chad Gable wants to finish the story and defeat Gunther and win the Intercontinental Championship. So, thoughts on Cody 2 years ago to now?
It is kind of crazy that he's gone from, starting AEW. He was kind of waning. People were turning on him in his own company to then going back to WWE, and he's just flourished in his current position. So, I mean, I think it was in the realm of possibility that he could have been the top guy in WWE, but it definitely was not a given. So, if you guys want to go back, check the tape, see what we were talking about, because I think I probably was like, it makes a lot of sense, but I just don't know how high he can go. Because at that time, Vince was still in power, kind of, but I
Vince
don't
was
know.
in power. He flew to the man's house to get him to sign him. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that was always going to be a question mark of how did Vince see Cody, and it was the first mega jump from AEW to WWE. Now we're seeing a little bit more now with Andrade coming back, and
Punk,
presumably, yeah, Punk coming back, Malachi
Jade,
Black. Who knows what's going on with him?
Jade
So,
Cargill. Yeah. Also, other Cody Rhodes news. They released a documentary, Becoming Cody Rhodes, last year. So they started filming a new one, like during WrestleMania 39. So I guess we can expect to see that released sometime later in the year. Yeah, Okada to AEW. Is this true? Is this actually happening?
nothing official from WWE or from AEW quite yet, but Fightful Sean Ross Sapp is reporting, and many have confirmed that Okada seems to be going to AEW. I was one that kind of wanted him to go to
How do they
WWE.
know this? Like, if if
They
if
got their sources.
if Okada and Tony Khan are the only people having conversations, then how is Tony Khan just telling people this is
Well,
happening?
I think it's more than just Tony Khan and Okada having conversations. You got to have some other people involved. AEW is not just, a Tony Khan run business. There's other people involved. But I kind of wanted him to go to WWE to kind of see what he could do and kind of make his legend even bigger. But I think AEW is kind of a softer landing spot, a safer landing spot to where he can go. He knows a lot of people there. He probably can go back and forth from Japan to America. And I think that was probably the deciding factor, because I think money was going to be very similar. Maybe AEW gave him a little bit more, but I think it all kind of came down to his living situation and being able to live more comfortably in Japan. Because if you go to WWE, they're not just going to let anyone sit there. It's not like Gunther back in the day when he was able to just live in the UK when, they had WWE UK. They don't have NXT Japan right now.
You never know. They never know. So what if the big business event is just Okada and it's nobody else?
I think Sasha Banks is going to be there. I do wonder when the Okada debut happens.
Do it on the same night?
You could do it the same night. You could do it at Revolution. I don't know how you would do that because I think Sting's match is going to be the main event. So I don't know if you want to kind of plug that in the middle of the show, but
You never
I
know.
think I think you give everyone the expectation of Mercedes being there, and then you top it off with, maybe you start off with Mercedes, similar to what you did with Punk in Chicago, and then you end the night with, a main event title situation thing, and then Okada comes out, and it's like, okay, here we go, we're off to the races.
Yes. Other news: Steve Mongo McMichael was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. Amari Miller has left WWE. She was she had gotten some TV time in the last few months, but then recently she has been on, and she put out there that she had parted ways with the company. Um, God is Good, the album by Montez Ford. Brandon, have you listened to this?
I have not listened to this. I did not know there was an album out. So, I like to go to the gym, listen to music. So maybe next week I'll give you a review.
Yes, please, please. Under the radar. How about that?
Maybe we'll see if that's even a thing anymore.
It should be. Johnny Loves Taya, a new little reality series starring John Hennison, Morgan Nitro, Johnny Impact. God, there's so many names. When I interviewed him, I knew all the names. I forgot now. But yeah, new little reality show for them. What are your thoughts? You're the reality show guy.
Where's this? Is this like an internet thing, or like where is this going to be shown on?
Uh I forgot. Man, let me do a little research. I remember seeing this headline. I just don't remember where exactly this is going to be. Dun, 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 dun.
Good for them, get a little supplemental income. Well, if it is just like, a television thing, if not, they're just like, starting a YouTube vlog, which, shout out Emma, uh, to Neil Dashwood. She does like a travel vlog with her husband, Riddick Moss, and they just, travel the country, do things.
Oh, they tied the knot.
Yeah, I think they did, or at least fiance. I don't know how their situation. And also, another random YouTube fact: I'm a theme park guy, so I was watching a documentary on the American Idol experience at the Disney World Resort at MGM, where WCW used to tape. You know who used to be a host at the American Idol experience? Philip, you're never gonna guess.
Oh,
My boy, Greg Hamilton.
wow. What's he doing now?
I actually went on his LinkedIn because I wanted to make sure it was actually him, and it was him. And he was doing something. He's doing something these days. Let's see, Wednesday evening. Let's see, Google search. Shout out Craig Hudson. There's his IMDb. There's his LinkedIn. Oh, it was on the. He is currently, if you guys all wanted to know, he is the executive producer slash host of America's Best Restaurants.
Okay, so Johnny Los Taya is going to be on the AEW YouTube channel. There you go. We did all
Check
that.
it out.
We did
Check
all
it out,
that.
everyone.
All that for that. Maurice has she's been diagnosed with pre-ovaries cancer. She broke that on her social media last week. Prayers, T's and P's going out to her. I see her and Miz just celebrated 17 years of being together, so that's awesome. Yeah, hopefully they can get all that taken care of and she beats that. Sonya Deville got married. Congrats to her. Congrats to the criminally underrated, as you once
Well,
adequately named.
formerly underrated. Now she's adequately rated.
I don't know. She hasn't been on TV. I think she's back to being underrated.
Well, word on the street is I might have to be looking for a new underrated talent, but
What about Kaden Carter? Isn't she still underrated?
she's still underrated. But
What
she's
about
gonna
Jedi Parker, bro?
she's a champion, so I
Hold
think
on, hold on,
people are
hold
starting
on,
to put some
hold on.
respect on her name.
What about Jedi Parker, bro? Have you been seeing her pop up on Twitter after Tuesday night's NXT? She has just been making the rounds.
Um,
And wrestling Twitter and non-wrestling Twitter.
Shawn Michaels has a certain eye for talent down there in NXT, as people have come to recognize.
HB Schnizzle, man. He know what he doing down there, man. This is great stuff. QT Marshall is back in AEW. That didn't last long.
Yeah, he went down, sold some stuff, and he's back in AEW in a behind the scenes capacity, not necessarily on screen. And I believe he has the rights to wrestle anywhere else outside of, or besides WWE. So, no word on exactly what that was, but I've always kind of felt like QT thought himself higher than what he actually is, and I wonder if that kind of was the case here. If he thought he was going to go out and get some, good deal, and maybe Cody can put in a good word, he can go to WWE, and that just didn't happen. So I don't know what the case maybe is, but I'm not shocked that QT came back to AEW. I'll just say that.
I mean, he could have went other places. We don't know. Inside the ring, Progress and Defy are going to join and become one company, huh?
Yeah, interesting development. Defy up there in the Northwest,
It's where Swerve made his name.
and Progress, presume a UK based promotion. So um, another Forbidden Door opening, and I wonder
Nah,
what that means.
we don't have to say all
The indie
that.
scene in the last since the pandemic has not been as strong as it was in like 1918, 17, but it's getting a little bit, maybe because of AEW kind of swooping up a lot more of that type of talent. But
Yeah, it
yeah.
says Progress Wrestling and Defy Wrestling have announced that they will merge, creating one of the largest independent wrestling organizations. Defy to Survive, Lucky Number 7, will be the first official show under the new management of both organizations. So there you go.
I wonder if they can possibly take over where ROH was and kind of be like the new super indie.
That could be a possibility. That could be something. Yeah. Bloodsport is coming to Japan.
Yeah, excited. Josh Barnett and I believe Minoru Suzuki.
How do you pronounce? How
Um,
do you pronounce it? Bushido.
Bushido. Oh,
Isn't that how you pronounce this?
I guess it's how we pronounce it here on the Bulletcast. But
Right.
I've always been a big fan of Bloodsport. Haven't tuned into a lot of the recent shows, but someone who likes wrestling and MMA, I think they toe that line perfectly. We saw with the Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey match, they try to do something like that, and it didn't work. Like the Matt Riddle stuff in NXT, some people
The
can pull
fight
it
pit.
off, the fight pit, but some people can pull it off. Some people can't. I think Bloodsport kind of toes that line perfectly of, it's a work, but it looks legitimate as well.
There you go. There you go. All right. The Wolf Dogs have won the NXT Tag Team titles. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Congrats to them.
Yeah, interesting development. We just all assume Braun Breaker's coming to the main roster, and then he wins the tag titles. Does that mean he's going to hold on to them for a long time? No clue. Maybe Braun and Baron Corbin come up together, and we kind of get a new look Baron Corbin on the main roster. Wouldn't be mad at that. Or you keep Baron down in NXT to kind of be that center veteran to kind of help the young talent. But yeah, I didn't expect it, and maybe it's just a thing till WrestleMania. But good for them because they've been doing good stuff down there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No fan mail this week. Let's go to Monday Night Raw. Uh, Cody Rhodes has a promo, talks about what he wants to talk about, talks about the Cody Crybabies of the segment on Pat McAfee's show. Pat McAfee does a great job. Just, you just shove him up your ass. I thought that was funny. Yeah, so, talks about all that. Seth Rollins comes out there. Seth Rollins gives a great promo. When he said, I felt that. I felt that. Did you feel it? I felt it. I felt all that. Yeah, but Rollins talks about how he could be his shield, going in to fight the bloodline.
Thought this was by far the best segment on Raw. Cody responding to The Rock, finally. And I thought it was good. It's going to be an interesting kind of balancing act. They're gonna have to work with Cody being presumably on Raw, and then the Rock and Roman. Who knows how many times they're going to be there on SmackDown? So kind of how they tell this story on Raw with just Cody and Rollins right now. It's gonna be a challenge, but I think they're gonna be up to it. And I thought this was a good segment. Seth showing some fire, could go without the, sing song and dance in his promos, but his intensity, doing a call back to the Shield. Maybe Cody puts the vest on, which I think would be pretty funny, but I think they're gonna do that. And I think we are setting up a tag match night one between, Seth Cody, Rock Roman, and
Yeah,
then
because I saw they're doing the Grayson Waller effect with Seth and Cody in Perth. I'm like, really? We're not going to do the tag match?
well, Roman's not going to be there. Maybe The Rock makes a surprise appearance, which could be something.
He was advertised, months ago, so that's why people thought Rock versus Roman in Perth.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, it was good stuff. Then Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Sami Zayn. Drew McIntyre gets involved, and then they're beating him. They're beating him down. Rare win for Shinsuke. I'm glad he got a win. And it just keeps adding to Sami's story. And then he has a story too, Jesus. And then Cody comes out there for the save. So next week, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre.
Big match set up for Raw. Hopefully they give us some sort of finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, solid match to end the show. Zayn losing again. I do wonder if this sets up him. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. I think him and Gunther at WrestleMania could be a fantastic match. And I don't know if you tell the story of him winning the match or if he loses again and he just continues to go down the road because eventually he has to win. But it's like Sami Zayn almost been defined down at a certain level. And I just don't know. You got to pull the trigger on Gunther losing the title eventually. So I just don't know if he's the right person you want to.
With main event Jey Uso. No?
I mean, good. Everyone's saying, "Oh, we're going to get the Usos wrestling at WrestleMania," and
For the IC title. Let's do that. I mean, think about it. Coming off the greatest IC title run of all time, how do you keep the momentum? You have two guys who have been involved in the greatest story in the last decade, probably the greatest story ever told in the history of this company, fighting for one of the most prestigious titles in the history of this business. A title that their father held. Come on, bro. It writes itself.
I mean, it does write
That
itself.
title is synonymous with that family. Rikishi, RIP to Umaga, bro. Roman had it. Rock had it. Let's do this.
Match next week could happen. Could pull the trigger on it. Kind of forgot that Gunther is trying to become a U.S. citizen, so he can't really go outside the country for a while. So,
Man, we do that in San Jose. Save it for San Jose. Save it for San Jose.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. I don't know if they're gonna save that till San Jose, but
we shall see. We shall see. The Nusos, as I like to call them, defeated Imperium.
yeah, solid match. I do like the, you know, Jay kind of being the third member of the Usos. They got a good rapport together. Sometimes, a little too much. Their promo backstage was maybe a little bit too much, but they kind of they towed that line.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, great entrance with the Street Profits and BFAB, defeated Bronson Reed. He advances. Can we get Bobby Lashley to be the world champion again, bro? Can we do that again real quick?
It's time. He's over there on SmackDown. I don't think he's beating Roman anytime soon, or Cody.
It's time. I miss Bobby Lashley. He didn't get to be champion in front of fans, bro. Like he had that the WrestleMania where they had fans for a night, sure, but come on, brother, let's do this.
Big meaty man slapping me here. Just they've been pushing Reed a little bit, and then he's kind of the jobber, not jobber to the stars, but he gets a little bit of a push, build him up a little bit, and then he just loses.
Bro, I see Ivar's in this thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, shout out Ivar.
LA Knight secured his spot though. He beat Ivar.
Second highest vertical jump in NXT history. Ivar.
Yes. Liv Morgan, you only live once, defeated Zoe Stark.
Yeah, match is okay. I wonder what they're doing with Liv's character. She's coming after Rhea. And they're right now, Rhea's
Everybody has a story to finish.
Rhea's in, she's in her mommy phase and everyone loves her. Everyone loves Liv. I don't know if they're going to turn her heel and kind of have her go after Rhea, maybe after WrestleMania, and an undersized heel against kind of a bigger baby face. It usually doesn't play too well, but maybe they do something.
She just has to be a babyface with an edge. That's all. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, she said that she wouldn't mind going after a men's championship. What are your thoughts?
It's not going to happen in WWE. We've seen for like 23, 22 years now at this point, WWE does not do the men's, women's matches. I mean, we had that one tag match with Becky and Seth, but they were very clear. The men and women did not really touch. There's the rare chances, the rare instances where the women attack the men, but we just haven't seen the men, hit moves on the women. And I think that's been,
it's been,
we've had this discussion years ago back in the OG days. I'm not the biggest fan of the intergender wrestling. And it seems like WWE is not a big fan as well.
Yeah, the mixed tags are probably all you're gonna get. I have to answer a call. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on the phone with the Odyssey of Death, Journey Fatu.
Yes. Live on the podcast.
Yes,
special guest.
Special guest. You can't hear him, but Journey Fatu is technically on the air. Mr. Fatu, you were kind of on the Bullet Cast. But what do you want to say to the people? I can relay the message. Smarten up. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and don't skip practice, and don't change the formula. I had to throw that one in there.
Amen. We did get a Becky Rhea thing on Raw. Becky, I don't know what's really up with her. Maybe it's been since her heel turn. She doesn't really feel the same. She's not as over as what she was, pre-baby, like just to put it bluntly. But at this point, Rhea is kind of the bigger star at this point, and I think using Becky to kind of elevate Rhea to another level is good. But it does kind of show that the Becky heel turn when she came back, I don't think it was the best idea, because I think it's showing that people aren't the biggest fans of Becky right now.
I mean, what,
It kind of dampened her star power.
did it? The
I
little
mean,
heel, the little heel run when she was working with Bianca,
people don't really care for Becky like they do anymore. Like you,
bro. That was good. I enjoyed that. She was doing some good work, man. And then those matches were hitting. It's crazy. That's crazy. They would say that about the man. Wow, wow, that's wild.
damn's crazy.
It is. It really is. AEW Dynamite. Moxley defeated Dax Harwood. Wow.
Yeah, they set up on Collision that looks like we're getting Moxley and Claudio against an FTR feud. Moxley and Dax, they teased a 20-minute time limit draw. I thought it was a good match, kind of styles clash, but I think
I see what you did there.
overall on this show, there's like some matches, nothing too big. We're a few weeks out of Revolution, so I think we're gonna hit like that big push maybe in a week or two. And speaking of Revolution, randomly, we're getting the Will Ospreay kind of debut on his new contract as an official AEW wrestler. He's just gonna wrestle Takeshita in a Don Callis family showcase with no storyline, no real hype. It's just gonna be a good match. I would assume Ospreay wins. Maybe this is how he turns babyface, but
You see, you don't just put people on the card, bro. This is why those pay-per-views are so long. Like, no. How about Osprey couldn't do an open challenge?
yeah.
Well, no, because Adam Copeland's doing that already, right? He's doing the Copeland Open.
I think there's a lot of different ways you can like do this. Like you can still have a Osprey Takeshita match, but maybe you just have Osprey like make his day like come, be on AEW Dynamite and he challenges Takeshita instead of just like Don Callis saying, "Okay, yeah, we're gonna have Osprey and Takeshita and they're just gonna wrestle a Revolution." When like once again, it's gonna be a good match, but why do I care? Like at least if Osprey's there to hype it up, to give you reason for why he wants this match, gives it a little bit of juice to it. But just like Tony Khan loves the good matches for the sake of good matches without a lot of storylines and people caring for
I
it.
hear he also loves big meaty men slapping meat. Or wait, does he? Does he like that?
Well, we did get a Wardlow squash match here. Adam Cole was on commentary, did not say a word.
What is going on with Wardlow, bro?
Well, it's good to see Wardlow is wrestling because he
What's up
kind of
with
tweaked.
Adam Cole and the Devil thing? What's going on with that?
You're telling me. I mean, they do the whole thing. MJF, I would assume MJF's injury has thrown a wrench into this, or maybe just Adam
Max,
Cole not.
Max,
I don't know.
Max. Come on, come on,
This thing has been just a complete debacle because
come on, Max.
they obviously have a plan involved, but they just like no one else is it. It's just they're in
They,
their own little universe.
they can't pivot. They don't know how to pivot.
I don't know.
WWE just did probably the best pivot of all time. I mean, I'm just saying.
And they have a big enough roster. I mean, you have the thing with Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong, and that's about it. But like Adam Cole, he's hurt, so you're not going to do anything with him. It's crazy that one awkward landing off a ramp is going to put him on the shelf for like 5 months at this point.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Like they do all these other crazy moves, but like it'd be the simplest thing. Like I've seen that with a couple guys in the business that I know. Like it'd be the simplest thing that would kind of take you out. It's crazy, man. It really is. This world of sports entertainment is wild. But yeah, I mean, Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia. I'm happy Daniel got to wrestle Edge, bro. That's cool.
Yeah, we got a no contest. Christian's goons came out, interfered, stopped the match. Then we got a concerto on Copeland. So maybe that puts him out past Revolution. Maybe he wrestles Christian at Revolution. I don't know. Or maybe Daniel Garcia fights for the legacy of Adam Copeland against Christian. But almost kind of forgot this was a thing because Copeland's kind of just doing his own thing, wrestling those matches, and then Christian comes out with Mama Wayne and all of them, and
Nick Wayne turns babyface, but his mom stays with Christian.
more familial disputes that we need to wrestle in.
Swerve Joe and Hangman. Swerve, drive. Shout out Swerve. He was out here in NorCal, Barrio Toys Super Bowl Sunday. We haven't talked about the Super Bowl, man. It was a quiet night in the Bay.
Well, you just absolutely hate to see it as someone who picked the Chiefs to win. Made out with a little bit of money on Sunday. Shout out Patrick Mahomes.
You
People
know,
call him the baby goat, but I think you might just have to call him the goat now.
you know what's crazy, bro? I know Niners fans that bet on the Chiefs because they were like, why lose twice? I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, I went to a couple Super Bowl parties, man. Usher's halftime performance. What are your thoughts? What are your teas? What are your teas?
It was fine. I just
Fine,
asked for Usher and Ludacris, and that's what I got. Shout out Alicia Keys, respectfully,
bro.
and shout out
Tell
to
me
those
what.
roller skaters.
Tell me why Usher is out here hugging Alicia Keys like like work wife and husband be hugging each other. These memes have been great. Jermaine Dupri, I thought he was CeeLo Green. Lil Jon came out there. You know what? Luda, Lil Jon, Usher, they were all together. We didn't get lovers and friends. They should have hit that one. That would have been good. I would have needed that. I needed that. He did "You Got It Bad," which is my favorite Usher song. That's cool. But yeah, man, quiet night in the Bay, man. I don't know. People are saying, because of what they did to Colin Kaepernick, Niners may never win a Super Bowl. All these other things. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
I don't think it has to do with Colin Kaepernick. I think it just has to do with the fact you run into Patrick Mahomes,
It's
and
it's conspiracy, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that boy, nice. I mean, we can't lie, man. That boy is nice. I mean, the Niners, man. It was a rematch from 4 years ago. You had one job, avenge Mac Dre, and they didn't do it. They didn't even do it. I'm hurt. I really am. I really
global
am.
pandemic 2.0 coming soon.
Hey, don't say that. Hey, don't say
Well,
that.
we got an election year, Biden versus Trump. The Chiefs beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. It's
Well,
just all lining up.
a massive celebrity hasn't died at the beginning of the year, so I think we're okay.
Someone must have died.
No, no, not of the magnitude of Kobe. Not yeah. So I think we're good. Yes, Swerve, Hangman, and Joe. They all have their little promo. Joe says it don't matter. I'm gonna kick both of y'all asses. Bucks defeat Top Flight. Congratulations.
I mean, Toby Keith died. Show some respect to Toby Keith.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy defeated Matt Taven in Texas. Why do they keep doing Texas death matches and not in Texas?
I thought they were in Texas, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, why
I
do
don't
they
know
just
why.
keep doing Texas death matches?
Yeah, I don't know why they did this match. It just kind of was like, all right, whatever. It's a death match for the sake of having a death match, and like they try to put it over like it was this big ordeal, but it's like it's Orange Cassidy and Matt Taven, and I really like Orange Cassidy. He's been doing a lot of great work these past couple years, but it's Matt Taven. He's like the lowest level person in this Adam Cole faction that no one cares about right now. So it's a match for the sake of having a match. The crowd is gonna like it, but we're gonna forget about this in like 2 weeks.
That is a possibility. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of wrestling going on this weekend. But listen, this weekend, all y'all need to be there. Love and Wrestling is going down. Gilman Brewery as Oasis Pro presents it. Got a lot of matches. Jaya Jewel versus Jay Desto. You have a 6-person scramble. You have Justin Kidd, Lyda J, Beatrice Domino, AJ Hernandez, Victor Von Richter, and King Gallo. You have Slick Sensation going up against Los Ricos, a little Knox Pro action going on up here. You have a returning El Mago taking on Titus Alexander. You have Loverboy Leo going up against Alonso Alvarez in a submission match. And Lucha Extrema, Los Macizos going up against SPS, the combination of Journey Fatu and Iosefa Parisi. The Dynasty taking on yet another Dynasty. See what's going to happen with that. And then, of course, the next day, Hail Ugwa in San Francisco at Emporium. You have Kitty K versus Sonico. You have the champion of Sharks, Dark Sheik, defending her title against Sandra Moon. You have Jen Savani versus Abigail Warren. Nick Xander defending the Gatekeeper title against DJ Fresh. The Graveyard Shit versus THC for the Tag Team Championships. And Anton Voorhees cashes in his quest for the key as he takes on Jordan Cruz for the UGWA Championship. All that and more. You don't want to miss it. Thank you guys so much. I will be at both shows. If you see me, come say what's up. Yeah, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan in the Bay. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan in general. A lot of cool stuff is going on. Thank you guys so much. As always, be safe and stay dangerous.
And if you want to prove it to you now, here's the feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it, moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage, and everything we do turning the page. Nobody does it like us. The feeling when we move, we are excited. Elite podcasting, I know you like it. Yeah, the bullet cast, feel fearless. Elite podcasting, we on. The Bullet Cast now, fearless. The Bullet Cast now, fearless. Elite podcasting.
This has been the Bullet Cast. Thank you for listening.
Elite podcasting.